Angled backwards as he takes it forward again. The Sharks still 13 of 13. It's their 14th time with the ball in the game. Graham will play it. Ferris on the right-hand side. He links up with Sean Ryan. Just over 26 minutes gone here. Still 6-0 to the Sharks. Last tackle, Healy. Under some pressure from Hopkins, although he was able to avoid him. Elford goes back off the fingertips and brings it back from the in goal. With E.T. off balance. And then he's picked up and driven backwards in a good tackle by Ferris. Hicks loses his jumper. He comes to Sean Ryan and Jason Stevens, and well, he's lost the ball as well. He can't find it. It's like pass the parcel at a Christmas party. Eventually he does unwrap it, and he found and won a football. Beckett plays it back to Gower, and he goes to Greenhill. I thought he was never going to find it. Gower. He'll kick himself from dummy half. Torpedo punt. It sits down quite softly in the end. Howland just inside his own 20-metre line.
Well, the Sharks are playing safety-first football at the moment. They are in front. They've got the second-best defence in the league, and I think Penrith now, if they want to sort of get a win against the likes of the Sharks here at Shark Park, they've got to chance their arm a bit and throw the ball around and play a little bit of razzle-dazzle football, what they're capable of doing.
A couple of Penrith players blowing up. They thought that there may have been a knock-on. Fortunately, the ref didn't see it.
Stevens getting it back on the inside for Dykes into a big gap. Got it back to Peachy. He'll run 20 metres, slide a mile once again. Score number 2 for the evening, and the Sharks lead the Panthers 10 points to 0 at Shark Park, and the locals have gone delirious.
And they're used to it. That's the 100th try scored this year. It's the first time the century has come up in their history, in short history, and they've done it in great fashion. Their forwards, well, they're working away, making plenty of territory. The offloads, well, they're starting to come together at the moment. They haven't made mistakes. Have a look at this. Drop off on the inside. They're positioning themselves very well. I thought that was a poor choice at that stage by Shane Elp with the fullback. I thought he should have stayed, make sure that David Peachy didn't get the ball. His opponent on that occasion, Adam Dykes, he wasn't going to have the pace to get there.
Oh, he's a great support player too, David Peachy, but also put that try down to Nathan Long. He was able to keep the ball alive. Jason Stevens doing a nice little tuck in there with Adam Dykes. He's a classy little player, and it was just a wonderful try. David Peachy, he can smell a try anywhere on that field, can't he?
He was hooting and hollering a long way before the line as well. The celebration started as soon as he got the football under control. And once again, another easy conversion for Mitch Healy. The 13th time this year that the Sharks have scored a try from inside their own half, dispelling some theories about their abilities in attack. Healy, sprayed it off to the right-hand side and barely scraped inside the upright. It's a dozen to them. They lead Penrith 12 points to 0. Wry smile there on the face of Mitch Healy as he comes back to take his place at the Sharks end of the field. He almost duffed it. Ryan Girdler will get us back underway. Drills it long and low. I'm sure Johnny Lang will be happy with the performance so far of the Sharks. There he is, perched high in the grandstand. It'd be delirious, really. His side haven't made a mistake, and they lead 12 points to 0.
He'd be very happy. His son, well, he had a few wobbly moments just a few moments before that try was scored. It may have been a chance of a knock-on there. He went down in the tackle, and yep, he's dropped that one cold. Straight over the top. 6 points have gone onto the Cronulla scoreboard, or the Sharks scoreboard, that should not have been there. But you've got to say, in the referee's defence, that would have been very difficult to see.
Graham, who does do the kicking sometimes, hits this one a little bit too long, in fact, out on the full by about a metre. And the Penrith Panthers will have it on the halfway line. They need to respond, you would think. Themselves back into this game. It's been a very even contest, but 2 lapses in the defensive line have led to 2 tries, and the Sharks are out by 12. Domic down the left-hand side, taken in a good tackle by Eddinghausen. Alexander hoping to go out a winner in his final game, of course. Sattler no way through for the second rower come 5/8. Cross. Don't quite know what happened there. Dummy half. Certainly didn't come out the way he intended. Tony Pulatua gets it back to Gower. The arms free. Trying to beat the tackle of Eddinghausen. Couldn't do so. Sattler comes away from ET's tackle. Gives it back to Alexander. The ball went forward, and Hewitt got a word from his touch judge, I'm sure. Alexander had it perched over his head for a moment there. It ended up in the arms of Brett Atkinson, and there it was just going forward. And Matt Hewitt was, for a moment, letting play continue until I'm sure he got a word from one of his touch judges.
Well, both teams have been handling the pill pretty well throughout the competition. They've done it very well, but I think Greg Alexander has probably made a decision that they've got to try something at the moment. With just 9 minutes or 8 minutes remaining until half-time, they know that going in there with nothing on the board, 12 points behind, it will be fairly deflating to the confidence department.
Well, this is Greg Alexander's last game, as you know, so I'm going to put my order in, fellas, for Greg Alexander to do a little chip over the top and regain and see one of his trademark Randy Alexander tries.
It'll be a fitting way to leave the game. So many tries that way over the years for both Penrith and Auckland. And a short stint with them. Paul Mellor, what a handful he's proving to be on this left-hand side. And of course, he almost scored a try on the right-hand side earlier in the game. Ryan goes forward just outside the Panthers 20. Healy kicks high to the air. Pressure coming up for Beckett. Penrith wingers have done a good job tonight defusing those bombs. Both Robbie Beckett and Chris Hicks extremely safe under the ball.
A little bit of bad news for Penrith at the moment. Craig Gower leaving the field, being carried from the field. He's the guy that really has provided any spark around the ruck. The only spark around the ruck that they've had throughout the evening. But this is the department that they're really starting to struggle at the moment. Getting territory. They can't match the bigger opponents.
Frank Pulatua takes it up to the 30-metre line, of course. It would be disastrous for Craig Gower if that injury was to be a serious one, with possible selection, as we said, in that Australian team coming up for the Tri-Series, which commences on October 15. Coincidentally, the day that two sides will be culled from the National Rugby League. McKenna almost got away from the tackle there of Domic, standing in that tackle. Peachy, as ever, was lurking up alongside him. He wants a hat-trick before half-time. Long. Inside the Penrith 30. Played back to Treaster. Dykes to his left-hand side. Mellor up against Hinson. 4-on-4. Hinson stopped him just outside the 10. Healy turns it back for Andrew Pearce. Heads towards the post. One more tackle for Cronulla. Will they go to the air again? They go to the short side. Dykes quickly to Mellor. He gets down low and scores their third try of the night. A heads-up piece of play from the 5'8", Adam Dykes. They were shaping up to Mitch Healy, who was on the right-hand side. They switched it back to the left from dummy half, and Mellor was too big. They couldn't handle him so close to the line. 16 points to 0 in favour of the Sharks.
Yeah, they just didn't have the numbers there, Penrith, on that occasion. I just think that they've probably got to come up with something in that situation that's going to be a little bit more effective there, allowing the Cronulla players or the Sharks players to dive underneath them. They've got to try and make sure that they move up, deny them time and space.
Wally, you're a fair 5'8" yourself in your day. What about Adam Dykes? Wasn't that a wonderful pass to Paul Mellor? And Paul Mellor's done the right thing in going in low and sliding over that try line.
Yeah, he's played very well. I think a lot of people don't give him the due credit that he receives, or should receive. Probably when you're looking around the Sharks outfit, though, it's very easy to concentrate on different players as being the danger areas of Cronulla's outfit. But the way that they're managing to throw the football around, they're still not coming up with much of a problem. They're not disappointing their coach, John Lang, with rash passes, managing to control the football pretty well. and they're still making territory with the football. Penrith, well, they're struggling in that department.
The toughest kick of the night for Mitch Healey so far. You saw his record from this position in 1999, just 3 of 11. Hits it solidly enough, but hooking the moment it left the boot. The score remains 16 points to 0 in favour of the Sharks. So Penrith really opened up a couple of occasions now in the last 10 minutes or so, and desperate to hold them to a 16-0 lead at half-time. Girdler, for the 4th time in this half, will get us back underway. Lang bumping into Sattler with Domick there as well. And Elford playing up in the line at the moment with Brett Atkinson filling the fullback's role. Treaster now. The pass from Graham. Dykes. It's off to Andrew Pearce. Some real depth about the Cronulla forwards. And Treaster. Long. Can get away from the tackle of John Cross. McKenna over the halfway line, got a great pass. Back away to Dykes. Here they go now. Pearce straight through them. They're queuing up outside him. Peachy was there. So was Eddinghausen. The captain dives over under the black dot as well. And the Sharks are coming to get them with a big total here in the first half. 20 points to 0.
And there was abundance of skill shown in this try. And one of the best pieces of deception in a final pass that you'll see. Some pretty poor defence from Penrith. I'm sure that their coach Royce Simmons would be disappointed with it. Again, the ball turned back on the inside. The big fella shot up there, and the way he turned the ball, it looked like he was going to throw it to the right-hand side. He decided to turn it the inside-out way. That probably took a little bit of concentration away. E.T., well, he's in the spot 9 times out of 10, Turb.
Well, Penrith's disadvantage here was letting Cronulla, or the Sharks rather, play with the ball. Great ball here. Andrew Eddinghausen, could see him backing him up right there. Good place to score it is right under the post, but I think the Panthers are falling off tackles, and that they're paying for that, because the Sharks can play attractive football and they can put you away if you don't put that man on the ground.
Well, they are putting them away at the moment. Penrith's form of late has been terrific. They've had some hard and long battles, of course, in recent times. Healy converts from directly in front. Just over a minute left in this first half. What a scoreline we have. 22 points to 0. I don't think anybody here thought we'd see that sort of scoreline at half-time with the way the Panthers have been playing of late.
No, well, they're just returning the ball, probably most expecting them simply to just hit the ball up, consolidate, just kick and chase. That wasn't good enough. They'll decide that they'll run the ball. A very good dummy thrown there, which was swallowed by Pulatua. Well, an experience. You don't play football for a long time and not know where to run. The perfect position. The girls cheering in the background, and why shouldn't they? They've joined everybody else here in the Sharks' colours. And we mentioned they'd had a couple of weak games leading up to this one. It doesn't seem to have affected them too much at all.
Not in the slightest. Oh, finally, they make a mistake. Martin Lang coughs it up on the first tackle. Penrith with a chance here with just seconds on the clock. A chance to hit back late in this first half. Sattler lost his footing. He'll get up and play it. Hopkins waits at dummy half. They get on the left-hand side. McNamara tackled by Healy and McKenna. Just 5 metres out from the Sharks line. Alexander, a flat pass to Cross. He'll go to the air. The last tackle of the game. The kick is too big. And just listen to this evasion the Sharks fans give the Sharks as they come to the sheds at half-time. 22 points to 0. And they look to be in the sort of mood they just might go on with it in the second half and rack up another big scoreline here, just as they've done in recent times to North Sydney, North Queensland and Western Suburbs. What a performance. Girdler kicks off, gets us underway for the second half. The Panthers will defend the southern end of Shark Park in this second half, and Martin Lang, as ever, comes back like a steam train and bounces off a brick wall, a Penrith wall on this occasion. Stevens, tackled by Greenhill and Pulatua. Metres gained in the first half. Look at that, 867 for the Sharks in comparison to the Penrith Panthers, who were held under 500. All the numbers pointing to the big Sharks lead, and that's exactly what they had. 22-0. Dykes to Mellor. They pick up where they left off. He was looking for Peachy. He couldn't find him. He got it back to McKenna instead. Now Graham. He tries to push away from a Penrith tackler. The Sharks straight through it on the attack. Ferris fires a pass to Healy. Gives it to Stevens, who dumps it off. Great piece of play from Eddingshausen to Ryan, to Rogers. Kicking into the in goal. Looking for Healy getting through and getting back to shovel it. Lee Hopkins over the dead ball line. The Sharks are just playing like men inspired, and now we have a player about to be called out.
Who is it, mate? Number 3, Ryan.
After Rogers has kicked the ball and progressed further downfield, they've come into the play, knocked him out after. They didn't have to touch him. Okay, the penalty's over there.
Okay. Got to see him. Okay.
Matt Hewitt will give a penalty to the Sharks. Here it is. Matt Rogers down this western touchline, kicks and then taken out of the play by that duo of Panthers, and the Sharks will get a penalty. As soon as they have a ball in their hands, they'll be able to get play back underway. Matt Hewitt is forced to blow time off. Matt Rogers frustrated. He can't get the ball in his hands, and now they find one lurking over by the 20-metre line. Just over 90 seconds gone in this second half, and Rogers, for some unknown reason, kicks for touch, and they'll have it even closer to the Penrith line.
And you get the feeling that the Sharks are prepared to shift the ball to the left-hand side. Their centres are almost back on the halfway line.
Healy on the run around from Stevens, away to Dykes. They're queuing up outside them. Dykes brought down in a tackle, and it was made by Tony Pulatua. Stevens again, short pass to Lang, running off his hip. Sadler and Greenhill there to stop him. 5 metres out, they go left. Dykes it is, gives a pass to Graham, trying to bump into the tackle of Hinson and then slip the ball. He couldn't do so. Peachy from dummy half, looking for number 3. He got a pass away, gave it to Brett Howland, and I think you'll find he scored the 5th try of the night for Cronulla. Yes, he has.
And minus a bit of oxygen from the lungs as well. He took a little bit of a bump. Pretty clever work. The Penrith defence to start with, they knew that Peachy was the man that was going to create the problems. Alexander came up a bit quick. He committed 2 players. Hicks was the man that should have stayed out to match up wing on wing. He didn't. An error in judgment has cost his team 4 points. I think they probably saw maybe the bump that gave him a little bit of a problem with the lungs. May have been a stray boot. Trying to kick the ball, hoping that it wasn't going to make contact with the ground. Cross the fingers there. Howland looks like he's okay at the moment. And they do look to be controlling their own destiny. Every time they want to attack, they're doing it with consummate ease at the moment.
Well, Wally, that was class play by David Peachy. You know, if you don't put them down, I'll just play with you. Matthew Rogers, they're in a very healthy position at the moment. You've got Brett Howland, Colin Best, Matthew Rogers for the wingers, and also you've got Paul Mellors having a wonderful game filling in for Russell Richardson. So they really are blessed with deep talent in the back line.
And here is Rogers on the wrong side of the field as far as he's concerned, to be kicking from this location. Knowing the way he strikes them, you wouldn't bet against him, but it does. Hook wide, and the Sharks still lead Penrith, though, by a scoreline of 26-0. He's smiling. Why wouldn't he be? Fresh back from having an X-ray during the first half while play continued, and here he is, back on deck, and I'm sure he'll figure very heavily. Ryan Girdler, once again, he'll wear out that right boot tonight, getting things back underway from the halfway line. Martin Lang got the pass from Dykes, and the landing on this occasion was a little bit softer than the previous couple of times he's brought it back from the kickoff. Stevens plays it. Ryan takes it forward, tackled by Sattler. Roy Simmons and Peter Mulholland, the coaches, both on the sideline now. They'd be very concerned at the way things have come apart for the Panthers here at Shark Park tonight. Of course, their form last week against Canberra was great. Really gave it to the Raiders in the second half especially. But perhaps their hard run in the last month has taken its toll, and they've run out of gas here tonight on the shore of Botany Bay. Elford making the kick back, and isn't all that well as he gets back to his feet either. Hicks approaches the halfway line, struggling in the tackle. Graham and Dykes threaten to pick him up and dump him on his back before he's told to play it by Matt Hewitt. Greenhill can't find a way through. The Sharks' defence around the rucks tonight has been second to none. Absolutely outstanding, and so they're not going to drop off in their second half. They'd love to keep the Panthers scoreless tonight, go in with a clean sheet to the finals. On the last tackle, Alexander it is, kicking, but Peachy will get across there and take it on the fall. You wouldn't bet against him going the length of the field the way he's playing tonight. Sattler and Girdler bring him to ground though, just inside the 20. The Sharks lead the Panthers 26-zip. Biggest win by the Sharks over Penrith came here at Shark Park. 32 points to nil in 1994. In fact, the Panthers have only won once here in their last 12 trips to Shark Park. We go back to 1993 to find their last win here, and back to the mid-80s to find a victory before that. Stevens, 10 metres on his own side of halfway. Alexander cartwheeling out of the play the ball area. Graham slips it to Sean Ryan. Fifth and last tackle there for the Sharks. They'll run it. Dykes. Way to Mellor. Keeps it alive. Back to Dykes. Now he gets the kick away. Rubbering down that touchline, and Elford got a plate off the boot. Miscued. Has it midway between his own try line and the halfway line. Hicks. It's a shrug off Graham. Hopkins waits a dummy half. Greenhill. There's been no gaps Penrith to take advantage of so far tonight, and if there have been, the Sharks have been so quick to cover up. There's hardly been a line break for the visitors.
I think the real key area here, Warren, is that the Sharks are winning the play the ball battle. There's always two men there, and the guy to get up last is the guy playing the ball. So their line of defence is well and truly set. And I think the key factor there is Penrith and nil. That's what will please John Lang.
Sattler gets it as the ball came between Greenhill's legs. A clean bowling as he tried to pick it up. Alexander gives it off to Girdler, and he punts it over the head of Peachy, who shows plenty of urgency this time because he realised the ball might have sat down in the in-goal area, and in fact it stayed just in the field of play. Oh, forced a pass when perhaps he didn't need to at all. It put Howland under a little bit of pressure. Mellor, dummy half. Penrith have done well to regather after giving up that early try in this second half to Howland. There's the line breaks, talking of them, 9-1. Blindside, Ryan.
And Randy continues his shoulder charge-a-thon.
I was going to say he's determined to try and put a big hit on somebody, and I think on that occasion once again he came out the worse for wear.
Oh, well, retiring, I suppose you've got to retire and have one up against your name.
He's not going to win the game, so maybe he's trying to win a couple of personal battles. The Panthers lose this little battle with Matt Hewitt. Didn't like the way they were slowing the play the ball down. And the Sharks will go on the attack again. Just over 9 minutes gone in this second stanza.
We can't afford to go giving the Sharks more opportunities. I tell you what, there wasn't much time in that one. In a couple of occasions, both teams have had the ball restricted whilst trying to play it throughout the match that were a lot worse than that.
Ferris taps it. Healy standing at first receiver. Short pass. Andrew Pearce also was right at the advantage line when he took the pass. Bumped into some heavy work there from both McNamara and Greenhill. Loose ball dropped, regathered by the Sharks. So the Panthers on this occasion get a reprieve. They'll have the scrum feed about 15 metres on their own side of halfway.
Good defence from Marker on that occasion. Greenhill probably spotted that there was another play about to be set. Peachy was the man lurking on the inside. Greenhill worked his way across from the inside. I think the dynamic fullback may have even had a peep. Usually you do when you've got blokes twice your size running at you.
Well, I just want to add to that with Penrith. Like, we've seen them play this year and scored some great tries, and they've been in some great form over the last few weeks. I'm surprised with their attack. It's been quite pedestrian. You know, they can play some fancy sort of football, and they've got nothing to lose by chancing their run.
Never ever square.
Well, as a penalty is blown, the referee making the call that the markers weren't square, and we can get used to hearing that over the next couple of weeks. That's been the major point brought up by a lot of the coaches in the NRL. I think that Penrith's horrific toll of injuries, without making excuses for them, they're just not the same side with blokes like Adamson missing throughout the lineup. The blokes that are very clever at offloading the possessions. And they've got themselves in a position now, Warren. Let's see what they can come up with. Obviously, they haven't got a lot of confidence on board.
Frank Pulatua, 25 metres out from this Sharks line. They'd love to keep that ducking next to Penrith's name on the scoreboard. Sattler. Short pass for Domick, who did well to hang on to it. Absorbed the impact there of the tackle from the second rowers, McKenna and Ryan. Alexander away to Sattler. Not many numbers on this side for Girdler. In fact, the Sharks had them outnumbered 4-2. Girdler was tackled. Now it comes to Alexander. Long pass to Cross. Once again, doing a lot of work to try and find a hole, but none exists in this defensive line of Cronulla at the moment. Alexander to the air. Getting back, Rogers tangled up there for a moment with one of his other players. In fact, I think it was Peachy, but he did well, the winger, to grab it. And here they come, a quick tap and on the attack once more.
This is an area I think the referees have really got to have a look at. Andrew Eddinghausen ran about 13 or 14 metres to get in between Peachy and also Robbie Beckett. The real problem area, it's obvious shepherding that's going on. Very hard, I guess, to prove it. The referee's watching the football in the air.
It was, in fact, Eddingshausen running interference for Rogers and not Peachy, but the fullback was there lurking.
I wouldn't throw too many stones, W. Lewis, because I remember W. Lewis in State of Origin games would give his fullback some protection as well.
Turn it up. I was never that fit to get back there, Turvey.
Gee, he's gone back a long way to throw that one up, Steve Mortimer. Some grudges never die, obviously. Mellor, here they come again. Ryan got it back to Mellor. Alive inside Penrith's 20-metre line. Now he's tackled. And it was Hopkins who made the tackle down low. Dykes a dummy half. Feeds it away to Peachy. Grubbering for himself, perhaps. All getting back and grounding it just in time was John Cross. Peachy was flying, looking for number 3, but they'll get it back once more from the goal line dropout.
Now stretched to the limits once again, Penrith. Peachy, he was looking for yet another one. Cross decided he had to go into slips to try and stop another occasion. Elford was back there, but you never know what could have happened from that case. But it's just simply a tired Panthers outfit that are against a Cronulla side or a Sharks side at the moment that are just revving up for a semi-final.
Speaking of revving up, Nathan Long runs headlong into Scott Sattler. Made a good tackle, a strong tackle up high. Stevens. 15 out from the Panthers line. Ferris to Healy. Gives it to Peachy.